You ever got cabbage?
No.
Sorry
Ghosts
for
are cousins.
Or ghosts are cousins. You won't be in the middle. Either like this side, yeah, this side or that side. Which one you feel?
Okay. Se puso serio.
Hola mi gente, we're back again on another episode of
Raices NYC. And on this episode, we have
Franceli.
woo woo.
Wow. So yes, Franceli, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell people, the audience, everyone that's watching.
I am a photojournalist based
Whoa.
in New York City. I grew up in the Bronx and my roots are in Mexico.
Nice. Okay.
Shout out to the Bronx.
Yeah.
What part of Mexico?
Puebla. Yeah.
We love.
My parents are from different parts of Puebla.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice.
Shout out Puebla.
Yeah.
Puebla, York.
Puebla York over here. Yeah. All right. So you said you're a photographer, journalist.
Mhm.
Can you go more in depth into what is that?
What's the difference between just a regular photographer and then a journalist photographer?
So I contribute my photos to news outlets or
So you're on Telemundo.
No.
Oh.
We are boycotting Telemundo.
Okay.
Univision.
Guys. Yep.
Also, Univision is
And
good?
Telemundo.
Both.
Yeah. So you like Peter Parker, like Spider-Man?
Kind of.
Nice.
But in the Bronx. He's from
Bronx
Queens.
version.
Oh,
He's from Queens.
like Batman.
Batman's from the Bronx.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
he
did that movie in
is?
the Bronx.
Stop.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm like Batman.
Gotham is the Bronx.
I'm fucking
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know
Should be
that.
crazy.
Mm.
You got a little Batman in you.
So explain more into like you were saying.
Yeah. So you submit your work to news outlets.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, that I was doing that mostly 2020. I minored in journalism, so I started to contribute my photos for nonprofits that would do marches and protests for
okay.
immigration rights and stuff like that.
So what got you into journalism?
Journalism, well,
Got you.
I just really okay. I think I always meeting new people, and I feel I was always very shy.
Oh.
I was very shy, and so I don't know, in spaces outside of my family, because my family may look at this and be like, she's lying. But no, in other spaces, I guess I was more shy to introduce myself or stuff like that. So I feel when you're photographing people, some people really like it, and then they loosen up, and then they start talking about their life and So I really like knowing people's stories. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's so interesting. So how did that? You said you were shy. So how did you become a bit more outgoing and to speaking? Well, how did you learn to break that? Unless you're lying.
I guess through my Instagram, I started interviewing people at protests.
Oh wow.
And then I feel that opened me up more, because then it's I want to know people's life experiences, and I want other people to know people's life experiences, but from them, and hear what their realities are.
Oh wow. Okay. So how was that also experience? Going into these protesters and interviewing them.
Some of them are scary, because in 2020, I guess one that sticks out to me is people were going on hunger strike in Bergen County Jail in Jersey, and I was interviewing people there, and I don't know, 2020 was wild for so many reasons. And just it was documenting labor strikes, all sorts of things, and so I guess it helped me just to continue doing that. I'm sure you guys have maybe had a similar experience. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it.
Yeah. I think like you know, like I was very shy. Julio was very shy too. Like you, I like to hear people's stories. I like to learn new things. I like to learn about what people are doing in today's society, and so that just makes you want to come out of your comfort zone, right? Because you want to keep learning, keep doing what you love. Like you love journaling, you love finding out like facts and of all these things. So I think like you, like I came out of that, and I think 2020 was such a like pivotal
Yeah.
time. Would you say it was the same for you? Like things
Yeah.
started to shift for you at that time?
Yeah, I guess like during that time, I mean, everything was so uncertain, and I feel like I saw it around me. Just lots of people like, they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just do what I've been too scared to do." Like, like
Yeah.
everything is so uncertain, and especially now, like we don't know like what's happening in our community, and like if our neighbors are still gonna be around, just because like people are getting like, I don't know, attacked and like kidnapped from their homes.
Also, like, do you remember that first story or that one story that hit you where you were just like, whoa, in shock? Or have you ever
Um,
had moments like that where you're just like, damn, like,
Yeah,
you
like
didn't expect that to hear?
what do you even say back to a person like that after they
yeah, I guess like one is like I always lead with like asking for consent. So like I'll
Yeah.
ask for people before. So I'll like, yeah, I'll like talk to them kind of like where these videos are going, where like where they can contact me. I'll share my information, and then if things get published, like I share that with them as well. Um, but I guess what to me like a story that like really like affected me, I guess like when I heard it was like, I guess that the hunger strike that the people were doing in the detention center in Jersey, because people were like experiencing assault by the officers inside of the prison, and so like sexual assault and just like being treated like very poorly, and they had been there for months in like ICE detention, and so they all decided like, oh, we're not gonna let like each other go through this, so we're just gonna all go on a hunger strike. And so like they were on a hunger strike for more than 2 months, and so we like when we interviewed one of the people that like had experienced assault, and then like we're able to like have their story be shared.
So okay, now we're starting also the new year. Do you have any projects or like anything that you want to direct right now or like your time to,
mm,
or a project that you're working on too?
I think for me something that I want to dedicate my time to is like archiving my things, because I feel like there is like so many projects that I've like started, but then I haven't like had the time to fully like sit down and be like, all right, what are we doing with this? Like what am I gonna do with like all of these photos or like these videos that I have compiled? Yeah, so I feel like this year I want to like sit down and like work on them.
did you go to school for anything like that, or you just
Um,
picked up a camera and you were like, okay, like I'm gonna go for it?
no, I actually like, I think I started, I love photography my whole life. But like when I was 13, my mom, she got me a little point and shoot. And then after that, like I still was like obsessed with photography, and I just saved up my money for like, I think it was until in high school. Like I just saved up all my money to get my first like DSLR. And then my dad, he was like, okay, you're like still with it, you're still keeping it. So then he kind of was like, all right, I'll buy it for you. So then he bought it for me, and then after that, like I just continued trying to learn how to work my camera, looking at YouTube videos. Yeah, and then when I entered college, I was studying public affairs in Brook in CUNY, and I guess like I started doing that, and then I was like, I don't really like this. I don't want like working in like politics and like all of this stuff. So I was like, I want to be like, I want to meet people. I want to be able to like interview people, interact with people.
But you didn't want to be at a desk.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in a desk. And so then I yeah, I was like, okay, how can I do that? But like, I'm already in like with my major. So like, what can I do with that? And then I was like, okay, I switched my minor to photojournalism.
So that's where it came in.
Well, actually journalism, but then I focused more on photojournalism.
Did anybody guide you, or did you ever have a mentor that kind of guided you through the way?
I think I've had a couple of mentors. So like I had this one professor that like she was amazing. I would like text her and be like, "Oh, I have these ideas," or I would just get nervous, like, "Oh, like how do I introduce myself to people and all this stuff?" She would always like offer like really good advice. Her name is Emily Johnson. She's also a photojournalist, and that was like one person. And then another mentor that I had with like photojournalism was Sol Aramendi. She's done like lots of projects with like migrant women and like photography, and yeah, she's like helped, like I've been like assisting her like with certain projects that she's done, and it's helped me a lot to like learn like, oh wow, like you've been doing this for a couple years, like what are the skills you end up learning like as time goes on.
Is there something that you, looking back now, you wouldn't do or you would have done differently?
I guess
you know, someone had told us I would never shoot in JPEG anymore because they would shoot a JPEG or something like that. I don't know.
I'm trying to think like what's a
If you know, you know.
I guess like having backups for my gear, because or like with the batteries, or like
so quick.
They die. So like bringing my charger, that's one. Bringing my charger, and then now have 2 batteries instead of 1, and making sure before I leave my house I always have my things charged. But yeah, I think like things like that, having extras of the things I know I need. So like,
was there a moment where you were like, "Oh, this is a shot," and then
no SD, like filled,
wow.
or like filled the pictures, and I'm like gotta go back, delete the ones that are like, you know, misshoots or whatever.
It's like when you're on your phone, it's like, oh
search full.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah. What also like with photo shoot, you know, is there a specific niche you would say you have, or something you want to try that's different now?
I feel like what has called to me more recently has been like documenting like my family story. So yeah, like going back home to like my dad's pueblo. I've been going more often these past couple years, because I'm starting a project there. And so
is it like a documentary?
No, I actually like, I don't know, it's like this whole big thing that's like
in the works.
But basically it's like I want to build a community center in my dad's pueblo. So I got a grant I think 2 years ago to like cover my flights, to be able to go back and forth, to have land put in my name, so that I can work with the community to be able to build the community center. But that's why this year I have to now go through all the things I've been documenting to be able to like present it and be like, all right guys, this is what we're fundraising for.
Wow, that's the terreno. Get out of here, Theo. These are my terrenos.
Get out of here.
Move to the side.
No, it's really beautiful that you are creating that for your community, because I think a lot of the things that happen is like the first generation, second generation, whatever it may be, you come to the US and then you stay here and that's all you ever know, right? A lot of people don't tend to go back, or even like they lose contact. It just happens. But you decided, no, like I'm gonna go back to my dad's pueblo. I'm gonna create something there for my family, for not even myself, but maybe for others as well. How does that make you feel, where it's like in the long run your community can be like, wow, like this was all thanks to Aline?
Well, I guess like, I don't know, after I like, because I had met my grandpa, maybe like I've seen him maybe like 3 times before I was able to go back and see him there. But I feel like seeing him there just was so special to me because he's like, I think I went, he was 92 at that time. And so he was like, he made a point, like immediately I arrived, he was like, we're going to the terreno, like you're gonna see. And he's like, I want you to like do something here. He's like, you have to do something here because he's like, I've worked this land my whole life. And he's like, you know, like, tenemos que hacer algo acá. And so then I had seen this like call out for like the grant with Feminist Idea Lab, and then through there I was like, what can I do? Like my abuelito's telling me like,
he
girl,
kind of like put the battery in you, like, hey, you gotta
and
ponte
so
las pilas.
and so then I told him my idea, and then my grandpa is like, yeah, dile tu papa. So then I spoke to both of them, and then we were like, okay, how can we make this like happen? And so first step was like, you know, getting the land and like having it all be official.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting too, because like in my pueblo too, like they did something like that, where they created a community center and they're teaching the younger generation how to speak Nahuatl.
Oh wow!
They kind of got lost. Like my grandparents, my great grandparents knew how to speak it, but then they didn't pass it down to anybody. So you know, and I think that just goes with like the politics of like they were taught not to speak it, I guess. But then they made the community centers in order to teach the newer generation. But unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, unfortunately, it took an outsider to create that for them. So it's not necessarily anybody related to the pueblo or anybody. So, but it you know, it is nicer, or it feels more, I guess, more comfortable when somebody from the actual land or from the actual neighborhood creates something for themselves.
Yeah, well, and so that's what like I kind of want to do it. Like I want to be able to be there for a while and like work with the community. Todas las decisiones or like all the decisions made in the pueblo are made by asambleas. So I want to be able to go to the asamblea and be like, okay, we have this funding. How are we all going to like make decisions of how this is made? And then like, how are we gonna
this brings back your political knowledge from when you were starting in school too.
It all comes back. It all connects.
Wow.
But yeah, I guess like making those decisions together and like, yeah, I wanna move in that way.
Are you gonna move there?
Like, I would like to be there for a while. My dad moved back in November. He made the decision to self-deport, and so I brought him back in November of just a couple months ago. Yeah. Wow. So I went with him, and then now I'm like, my dad is here. You know, like my dad is here. I want to be here for a while. I want to be able to work with our community to build this community center. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is very beautiful, you know. Have you also tried since you got there too, you know, have you even mentioned any of this, like, you know, to the locals, or are you just keeping it right now to yourself?
No, when I started to go, I like started to try to connect with people who are doing like autonomous organizing, some youth, and like there's this group of people that they have done like, I'm trying to remember, like they did a fundraiser so that they can celebrate I don't know how many years. I think it's 50-year anniversary of like a garden that we have. Like a botanical garden that we have in El Pueblo. And so through them, I was like starting to speak to them about the project, because they seem to already be doing similar work that is like kind of what we want to do. And yeah, I guess like now I'm like starting to speak to like people who are like working on the salt flats and then working on like my pueblo is known for las salinas, so the salt flats that are in the area. So like talking to my uncle and being like, oh, like, you know, this is something that's like not being passed down as much, and so lots of people are trying to leave to like find work, or like work is hard, so trying to connect with locals who have co-ops, people who have that knowledge of working on the salt flats to be able to pass it down.
Wow, that's beautiful, because a lot of the traditions end up being lost along the way.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that was
a spooky story.
Okay, now, that's actually very beautiful what you're doing and all of that. But now we're entering spooky story, spooky story time. or how? What is it?
Paranormal activity.
Wow.
So do you? Do you have a story?
Do I have paranormal activity?
Yeah. Like
I'm
you saw something at the pueblo.
No, well, I did tell you about this, about the little shine.